Hi everyone, I'm Elise van Asvegen and this is Elise Smith, and we would like to welcome you back to another episode of On the Couch. Remember to send in those questions. We'd love to hear from you. And I don't know, let's just jump in with the first question.
Yeah, well, thanks, Elise. Thanks for letting me be on the couch again. I mean, as everybody knows out there, they wanted, questions and answers from the so-called top echelons, if you want to call it that way. So you're part of that group, as you know, from their point of view. So let's dive into those questions and see if we can answer them.
Okay.
So who's the first question from?
I see our first question is from Pedro. He's asking, I want to become a professional plumber. My name is Pedro from Mozambique, based in Durban Central. Could you please advise me on how to register? Do you want to take that one?
So, Marlies, there are two parts to that question. One is the individual wants to know how to be registered, and then the other one, he wants to know what he is a Mozambican plumber. I assume, therefore, if he's got his qualification in Mozambique, I don't know, but I would make that would be the assumption. So if he is a foreign individual, he has to start the process of getting a comparison qualification, correct?
Evaluation,
and that is done by SACWA, correct? So Pedro, you have to approach SACWA and get a comparative qualification. So what they do is they have a look at your qualification, and then they look at which qualifications are available in South Africa, and then they give you a letter of comparison from that point of view. With that letter, you have to now just get a process of confirmation. So you go to a training provider and they will do that comparison on that SACWA letter. Correct in saying that?
Yes.
And then once that individual has got the comparative letter, and very similar to any person who's got that qualification, they simply approach the PRLB, go online, download the application form, and then just simply fill out the application form.
And then depending on which, where you are with your qualification, if it's a complete South African qualification, basically, you will either be a licensed plumber or a technical assistant practitioner. But if you're a technical assistant practitioner and not yet qualified, you can go on the RPL route, the recognition of prior learning route, and become a qualified plumber.
Yeah, so can that gentleman, Pedro, can do it as well on the LPL route if he wants to do a comparison. But that's a discussion. You can come to the PRLB and they will guide you in that specific process as well. So just also for noting, and all other plumbers out there, registration can be taken. You can download the application form or do the application form online. So it's neither the electronic version or a written version. Once you have completed it, you just simply submit it to the PRLB, and then a verification will happen. That's very important, because the PRLB does not just take your qualification and say, yes, on face value. There is a verification process that takes place, which you want to just explain a little bit on that specific process, Marlies? How does that happen?
We send in the qualification details, like your name, surname, ID number, etc., certificate details, to QCTO or CETA, depending on who you did your qualification through, and they will verify whether it's valid or if there might be any misrepresentation in there. So we will do those checks before we actually register you with us.
And we do those checks on every single qualification?
Every single one.
So every single one that we do, we send it in, and SACWA verifies it before they come onto the PRLBs, before you are able to register with the PRLB.
Yes, we do that with the trade qualifications as well as solar, heat pump. Yeah.
And the number of applications that we receive that are false is quite a few, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, but we have also seen that there's been a decline on that because we are checking it.
Yeah. I remember when the start was, it was up to 25% of the application forms were false false qualifications.
Misrepresented, yes.
Yes. So, Pedro, I hope that answers your question. So, great. Start your journey. And if you've got any further questions, please contact the PRLB and they will guide you in that specific space. So, let's look at the next question. And the next question comes from a lady. And the question is, can I renew my PRLB registration after 5 years?
Yes, you can. Yeah. You will have to complete a form just so we can check that your information is still correct. And then there will be a late fee that you need to pay. It's not much, but you don't need to catch up on all the years that you missed. It's just to get your account or your profile active again and to make sure that everything's done.
That's correct, 100%, because I mean, what we're finding out is that a lot of people change their email addresses, and specifically what we refer to the cell phone brigade, where they just continuously. So it's very important to keep your information up to date with the PRLBs, because all communications are submitted by that information that is on there. So if you're going to change your cell phone number, then we're not going to get you that information. And I think that's one of the biggest problems we have within the PRLB.
Actually, yes, it happens quite a lot, especially if you register through a company or a school and they put their information on there. Rather put your own on there so we can get hold of you at a later stage when you may be not working there or you're done with your studies.
Yes, 100%. That's right. Yeah. So anyway, Naledi, I hope that gives you the right information. But if you've got any questions, please, like everybody else, contact the office and they will help you through the process. With that said, we're going to go to an ad break.
Good day. How can I help you?
Hi, I'm here to log in my COCs, but I seem to be having an issue with my computer.
No problem. But did you know that you can log your COCs using an app on your cell phone?
Oh, what app is that?
It's called the App Plumber. Do you have a smartphone with you?
Yes, I do.
Oh well, let me show you how it works.
Not only can you access your PRB profile on the App Plumber, but you can also earn CPD points while exploring the plumbing industry in the palm of your hand. Download the app from Google Play Store and join thousands of other happy users.
It's an exciting time to be a professionally registered plumber. The PIRB's leaderboard provides plumbers with the opportunity to be placed onto a ranking system to see how they perform amongst their peers around the country. This ranking system enables both plumbers and consumers to identify top local plumbers and monitor their performance nationally and regionally. Consumers will always look for the best, and at the top is where you'd want to be. It is therefore very important to be dedicated to continuously upskilling yourself through continuous professional development activities. The CPD points you accumulate during the CPD program will allow you to be rated on the leaderboard as you grow. The ranking system runs on a 3-month rolling average, where you can find yourself at the very top by accumulating more points than your peers. Top-ranked plumbers also stand a chance to win prizes through a lucky draw, where winners are announced on the PIRB's Plumbing 101 shows on YouTube. Do not miss out on the opportunity to be highlighted as an elite plumber in South Africa. Start accumulating points and become one of the best. Get skilled, get rewarded.
Welcome back to On the Couch. Just to remind you about those questions, let them continuously coming in, send them via email, SMS, or WhatsApp. Moving on, let's dive into the next question. This question is from Lawrence, and he asks, if you register as a licensed plumber for the first time, do you pay the assessment fee and registration fee, or does the registration fee include the assessment? So Marlies, before I jump across for you to answer that specific thing, what is the assessment fee? What are we talking about there? So just let people know what the assessment fee is.
It's actually an induction. We put all the plumbers through an induction process. We will make sure that you understand what's going on in the industry, how the PRB works, what standards are about, information like that, what's ethics, etc.
That's correct. We're just verifying that. Also verifying that you know exactly, or you might have been a plumber that has been plumbed, got your qualification 30 years ago, whereas if you're part of a professional body, that's continuous development. So those type of assessments that we do is just to make sure that you have kept up with those further developments and training from that point of view.
Yeah.
Anyway, so going back to Lawrence, he's asking about the costs involved with that registration and an assessment.
So with your initial registration, you don't pay an extra fee for assessment. It's included. So you will do your assessment. If you fail your first try, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. Unfortunately, there's an assessment fee for your next try or your third try. And the next year with your renewal, there will be an induction again, but that's also included in the fee, in your renewal fee.
Yeah, so it's not an assessment fee. That's just an induction program. It's literally much shorter than an assessment. It's not a literal assessment. I think it's 2 hours, isn't that so? Just to make sure that you're kept up to speed from that point of view.
Yeah.
There's no cost involved. Yeah. It's part of your renewal fee from that point of view. So just in summary, it's yes, Lawrence, you pay an assessment fee and a registration fee on your initial license. However, when you renew the next year, you're not going to pay an assessment fee. You're only going to pay a registration fee. But part of that renewal process, you need to have an induction process.
Yeah.
And not an induction, it's a renewal induction process.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Great, 100%. Malise, next question.
All right, moving on. We have another question from Zwenetu. Morning. I would like to know how much would I spend on a PRB license and what requirements must I meet?
So Malise, as the operations manager, take that question.
Okay. It will depend on your designation. So if you are a technical assistant practitioner, there's a certain fee. On licensed plumber, there's a certain fee. It just depends on where you're at. The prices are on the website. It can also be obtained from the office, but it's plus minus just over 1,000 Rand for registration for the year. And then with regards to requirements, in order to be a licensed plumber or qualified plumber with the PRB, you need to have a copy of your ID, a color ID photo, and then of course your plumbing qualification, a valid one, which we will verify with the various departments, and then complete the application form for us.
Correct. So the most important one to be a licensed plumber is your qualification, which you have to obtain whatever route you take that qualification through.
Absolutely.
So we don't issue the qualification, and you go through either through a occupational qualification or through the learnership or the old Red Seal or whatever route you for the Section 28, whatever route you followed to that qualification. The only difference is, as we mentioned early on, and you mentioned now, Malise, is that we take that qualification. We don't look at it on face value. We do a verification to the QCTO or to CETA. And once we receive that back, then the journey is finished, and then you move on to the assessment process.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah, the internal induction and assessment process.
And that's the thing is you initially register as a qualified registered plumber, and then once you pass the induction, then you're a licensed plumber and you can start issuing the COC.
That's correct, 100%. So again, jump onto the website. All that information is there to be gained from the website. With that said, let's go back to another ad break so that we can pay the bills.
The PIRB Master Plumber Recognition Program has officially arrived. As an essential service to society, there must be constant growth and development within this important and ever-changing industry. Developed by the PIRB, the Master Plumber Recognition Program has launched as a new PIRB designation, allowing industry champions to take the lead. Skilled and experienced plumbers equipped to take the lead, enroll today to start your journey in becoming a recognized PIRB Master Plumber.
So welcome back from the ad break. We have 2 more questions, Malise, and then you can go back to work. Anyway, so let's get on to the second last question. It comes from Avesh, and he's asking, hi, just to confirm, I bought an electronic COC. I have completed the necessary details and saved it. I cannot print it. Do I log it first to get a PDF to print? Malise, do you know that technique?
Yes. Once you log it, then you can either download it and print it, or you can email it directly to your client.
That's correct, 100%. There is the ability on it to PDF, but that's after it is logged. Because what happens is, we know, and we've seen it many times, is that they will change the details and then do it so that the system only allows you to download it or print it once the thing has been logged. That's just for security reasons on our side. I hope that answers your question, Avesh. All right, Malise, let's move on to the final question for this session on the couch.
Our last question is from Jason. I'm working for a company, Solar Guru. I just want to know if I want to do my own solar geysers, where and what do I need to give COCs for my work?
It's a bit of a loaded question in that specific one, but just in simple terms, we must remember the certificate of compliance is issued by an individual and not the company. So therefore, the competency lies in the individual. So you as an individual, if you wish to issue a certificate of compliance for solar, you need to obviously be registered as a licensed plumber, step number 1. And then step number 2, you need to have upskilled yourself on the skills programs for solar, have passed that, brought it to the PRRB, shown that the competency is there, and they will verify that certificate. Once that is done, then your designation for solar will be awarded, and then you will only then be in a position to issue the certificate of compliance for solar for yourself, not for the company. But Malise, one of the challenges that we find, is that a lot of the plumbers come along and they get to a solar installation and there's a geyser attached to it. And therefore, they feel that with their as a licensed plumber, I can work on that geyser component of the solar installation. But that's not how the regulations or the standards work. How the standards work, Malise, is that what we do is, or not, I wouldn't say how it works, but an installation gets looked as a system. So therefore, when you get to a solar installation that's got panels and a geyser, you can't look at it as a geyser and panels, you have to look at it as a system. And therefore, as a result of that, to work on a geyser that is part of a solar system, you need to, and issuing a certificate, you need to have upskilled yourself on the designation of solar.
Because what we've picked up quite a bit is somebody will issue a COC for a solar installation, but it just says it's a solar installation, but in the meantime, they just worked on the panels or they just worked on the geyser. And they will be audited on the whole system, not just a part of it. And if you come back to us afterwards and say, oh, but I only touched the panels, we didn't know that. Our auditors will look at the whole system.
Yeah, 100%. But the auditing questions are coming at a later stage,
Yes.
So we'll delve into that one. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, plumbers, we really thank you for joining us on the couch. Thank you for allowing me that opportunity, Malise.
Thank you, Lee.
Thank you. And remember, keep those questions coming, emailing them, SMSing them, sending us on their WhatsApp. And in the meantime, proud plumbing.